Thank you for having me, Mijong and the KFFC crew. I'm super excited and honored to share the stage with all these interesting other Asian diaspora artists. Today, my talk is going to be about shape-shifting and metempsychosis as astounding, magnificent otherness. So, a bit about me. I'm an experimental multimedia artist. I'm from China. I went to the US at the age of 18. I'm currently in Montreal, and I'm currently also a master's student at Harvard Graduate School of Design, studying architecture. Um, the reason I'm here in Montreal is that I'm a MyTex Award recipient, and I'm a research creator in residence at Sociability of Sleep. So these are some of my friends and four basic channels of my energies, which is otherness, hybridization, mythology, and environment. So today I'm going to take a look at my research-based multimedia works in 2022 and this year about metempsychosis and shape-shifting as two major themes. So metempsychosis means the migration of the soul. And in my work, it is usually manifested as performance and movement um, combined with multimedia when I do motion capture. And both metempsychosis, which is the shifting of the soul, and shape-shifting, which is the shifting of the body form, are the basic axis of on the basic axis of more than human transformation. So the first work I'm going to talk about is bodies of animal-human hybridity and metamorphosis, which is the work is called Mixanthropy, is a collaboration with Matrix High. So this interdisciplinary work is basically a holographic art installation of a group of different shape-shifting creatures between animals and humans about the body in transition, both visual and behavioral. So the word mixanthropy comes from a Greek root meaning a deity's potential to glide between different body forms, a deity's potential for fluidity and change. So this work basically draws inspiration from mythology, um, mythological references across the world about our ancestors being shapeshifters between not only between animals and humans, but also between different human shapes and identities. So we are basically creating a pantheon coupling with cutting edge technologies of motion capture. So my collaborator and I personally provided movement for those shape-shifting figures, CGI and self-trained AI. An AI algorithm trained on environment, like mineral environment, so which provides the texture of the skin. So here are a few excerpts. So when my collaborator and I were motion capture, were mocap performing from somebody who didn't have a background in dance or theater, for us, it's also the first time that we found ourselves performing for our works because we rely on motion capture. It was very interesting and strange because we were trying to imagine our bodies move in a way that corresponds to the different morphs that, for example, transitioning from a biped to a quadruped. And this work is going to showcase at South by Southwest um, as a, sorry about the sound. Okay, I muted it. As a large-scale holographic installation like this. There's a matrix of holograms where there are 3D figures metamorphosing. This is going to happen in Austin, Texas, in a few days, in like 10 days. So that leads me to my current project about sleep. That's the reason why I'm here in Montreal. I'm doing a residency with the group called Sociability of Sleep. And the project is called Morphi. And I was just deeply obsessed with the strange other landscape of dream selves. So morphi is the human shape of one's dream self who procedurally deforms and changes according to the EMG signals of a sleeper. A characterization of the non-binary, meaning that the identity of the morphi is not just a binary notion of either a waking self or a dreaming self, but there's a continuous spectrum between the different alternative states of consciousness. So I mainly use this project to question the core of performance and choreography when the performer is asleep. So there are other worldly beings, the avatars of the morphi, just as our dream selves are a different version of our plural ego that uh, that is different but also related to our waking selves. So it also has its roots in mythology. The morphi is a human shape sent by the Greek god Morpheus, who is the god of sleep, to dreamers. And I really like this quote by Marshall McLuhan. Our technology forces us to live vividly, because since enlightenment and industrialization, the world, especially the westernized global modern society, has been based on the foundation of disenchantment, of gods, of indigenous gods, of polytheistic gods, gods that are deemed inferior because they're deemed quote unquote primitive, especially because they belong to the pre-colonized world of many cultures. And I'm very interested in those ancient collective storytelling and the gods that emerge from them. So Morphi, this project is really about the hybrid zone, bridging science, mythology, and technology. So there's also a root in sleep science history, as there are two things paradoxical about REM sleep, which is the sleep phase in which you dream. And I'm interested to see whether it's possible to characterize one's dream self, to characterize dream. Basically, what is it? What does it mean to bring your dream self to reality through technological artifact as an extension, like a cyborg-ish extension? And how how do we approach the notion of metempsychosis and transformation, metamorphosis across different states of consciousness? So I was fortunate to collaborate with, among many of my collaborators, include the Montreal-based performance artist Dana McLeod, who's also affiliated with Sociability of Sleep, and in my project, she once performed in a workshop that I organized, performed a nap session in public, in which I was able to animate the virtual character in the background, as you can see, according to the EMG, which is the electromyography, the muscular electricity levels on the arm of Dana, as well as capturing from an overhead camera the video footage of Dana sleeping. But Dana's face has been erased because I was interested to otherify or abstractify the human identity and leave only the part that I'm interested in, which is the motion of the sleeper. So the Dana was dressed in a suit, as you'll see later. Okay, I will first talk about the technical pipeline. I'll just go over it quickly. So it consists of part one, characterization, and part two, choreography. The choreography part, I will talk a little more. First, there's this 3D avatar, as you already saw. That is driven by subthreshold EMG data, so that the data that's driven the avatar is not motion data, but rather the muscular electricity level of a person during sleep. So I would say this kind of choreography is innovative because it is a generative or procedural choreography, as opposed to traditional choreography based on scripted movements. This choreography is based on procedural data input and output. So it gives me and Dana a sense of control, but also we already abandoned most of our control because we can control the range of movement, but we cannot control the exact rhythm of movement. And the second part is a sleep performance costume, which is going to be a UV texture bake from my 3D avatar and 3D printed and on adhesive vinyl. No, laser cut on adhesive vinyl and stuck on the costume. So the data collection is on the arm and neck, and the character modeling data is obtained with written permission by a scaped dataset, which is a photogrammetry, which is human scans, real life human scans, and I was able to pose it and transform it in a way that I feel fit for Morphi. So my collaborators include Sleep Laboratory at McGill Hospital, Lee Wilkins, Dana McLeod, and Lorianne, who's a leader. So this video is a video of myself that I excerpt because due to exhibition and copyright, I cannot just show the full video. So I was dressed in the mocap suit during a nap, and this was captured through the mocap suit. So this project Morphi, as well as the whole sociability of sleep collective, is gonna put on a 6-artist exhibition on from June 20th to July 14th in Agora Côte de Science in Montreal. So although I won't personally be there, I will be connected to the spectators via Zoom and engage in discussions and Q&A sessions during that time. And there will be this sleep structure, this cave-like installation, as well as sleep performer inside of the installation, as shown in this render preview, dressed in this neon green or neon blue costume, like this. This is a digital render. So this is so much about my work in the recent half a year, and I just wanted to talk about my experience as an Asian diasporic person. I actually don't feel I belong to any city anymore because I spent all my adulthood in out of my native country, China, where I grew up, and I have been living as an uprooted nomad. Uprooted meaning that I'm always by myself. I don't have family. I didn't immigrate with my family. I'm always by myself. I lived in Denmark for a year before, and because of my nomadic identity, I always feel that in an expense of time, I will gradually grow more and more estranged to the space, to the place where I am. So that is always a time that I know I would want to move to another place. But that being said, to not feel a belonging to any particular land or living a nomadic life doesn't make me lonely or sad in any way, because I, on the other hand, also have the courage to start fresh and shapeshift in all kinds of meanings, shapeshifting in all kinds of meanings, because also as a multilingual person, as most of you, I suspect all of you are in this panel, I noticed that I have a code switch when, like an identity switch or personality change when I switch languages. So previously, my major struggle was how to speak English in a way so that I can stay most authentic to myself. But later, I found out that the concept of self and even the concept of truth are relativistic and plural. So I just accepted that I have plural selves, just as many of you, I suppose probably most of you do. And it's just a phenomenon that modern science and the framework and infrastructure and mental model brought on by colonization and uh, in colonization and uh, neoliberalism in this digital scene have been suppressing the idea of erasing boundaries because people are so afraid of um, other bodies that they cannot categorize geographically or as like or by ethnicity or by culture. Um, but yeah, as a person, as a nomad, I'm living as a shapeshifter, um, and that reflects in my work. I'm very interested and um, fascinated by the mythological beauty and magnificent, the what I call astounding magnificent otherness.